Hello everybody, welcome back to another video, and today we are reading Clash of the Creepers, Chapter 2 Treasure Hunt. Now, if you haven't seen the first one, go watch that now, and you'll be all caught up. Anyway, let's get on to reading. As Steve and his friends sprinted in the dark, Arrow struck Kira. Ow! Screamed Kira. Look, skeletons, Max pointed out. Two white, bony creatures behind a tree. Been hit too, exclaimed Lucy. It's so dark, I can't see. Where are they? She took out her bow and arrow. Max shot an arrow at the skeletons. Can't you see them behind that tree? Max hit the skeleton. Henry charged at the bony beast with his diamond sword. Steve followed. They used all their might to defeat the skeleton. Click, clack, clang. The sound of bones rattled as the skeletons lost their battle to Steve and his friends. We need to get to my house, instructed Steve. I needed to see what's been destroyed. As Max ran towards the house, he fell into a hole. Oh no, he shouted, help me! Steve had a ladder near his house and gave it to Max. Max slowly climbed up the ladder in the dark and made his way safely out of the hole. I guess this was where the explosion occurred, Henry noted, looking at the hole. Like the skeleton destroyed the creeper, Lucy said as she picked up a CD. Thankfully, it was outside the wheat farm. I just couldn't deal with any more damage to the farm, said Steve. He was relieved his farm was intact. When a skeleton kills a creeper, that wouldn't leave an explosion, Max said. This hole looks like it was created by TNT. It's definitely the work of a griefer. Also, skeletons can only shoot at people. There must have... Yeah. There must have been someone else over here. Steve looked down and saw a piece of wool on the ground. Do you think Thomas is back to his old ways? I don't know, remarked Kira. But we better be on the lookout for Thomas or any other griefers. Look out, Henry screamed as he saw a green creeper approaching the wheat farm. Max aimed his bow and arrow toward the creeper. He was about to shoot when Snuggles and Jasmine appeared. Both ocelots meowed at the creeper and left the wheat farm. Snuggles and Jasmine saved the day, Steve said, as he walked over to his two pet felines. I had the creeper in sight. I could have destroyed it, said Max. We've had enough explosions for one day, Steve told his friends. The sun began to rise. Ugh, there's no time to sleep now, Max was annoyed. We should get ready for our trip to Mine Mountain. I'll hunt for breakfast, remarked Lucy, and she left the group, armed with a bow and arrow. Steve walked into his house and opened a large chest that sat in the corner of his living room. We're going to need a lot of supplies for this trip. I studied the map, and it isn't an easy journey. Steve looked through the chest, took out his most powerful diamond armor, swords, and bows and arrows, and placed them in his inventory. Do you have any potions? Asked Henry. I'm running low, and I think some might come in handy. Steve agreed and placed potions of invisibility, underwater breathing, fire resistance, and many others into his inventory. Wow, when I come back, I will be seriously low on supplies, Steve told his friends. We'll help you replenish your stock, Kira assured him cheerfully. Once we reach Mine Mountain, we'll have so many diamonds that we can trade them all for all the supplies in the overworld. Lucy walked into the living room and announced, I broiled a chicken. You should come outside and eat before we start our journey. We want to have full health and food bars. The group gathered on the grass outside of Steve's house and dined on chicken and apples. How long do you think it will take us to reach Mine Mountain? Asked Kira as she took a bite of the juicy chicken. Max gazed at the map, calculating the distance. I would estimate over 2 days, but you never know what might slow us down. Henry looked over the map and asked, but don't we want to stop at the jungle temple first to unearth some treasure? Ah, yes, Max replied as he looked at the map and noted the jungle temple. We can get to the temple by the end of the day. The group was excited for the journey. As they finished the last bit of chicken, a bunny hopped by them. Max took out his bow and arrow. You don't have to shoot it, Lucy told him. We already ate chicken. We don't need rabbit stew. I don't trust the rabbit, Max said, staring at the furry white rabbit. But bunnies are peaceful, declared Kira as she approached the bunny with the carrots. Screamed Max. Look at those evil red eyes. Baring its large teeth, the bunny leapt at Kira. Oh no, Steve grabbed his bow and arrow. Kira! Kira struck the rabbit with her diamond sword. It retreated, but then rushed towards her, ready to attack. Max and Steve shot arrows at the small killer rabbit. However, Lucy charged at the rabbit with a name tag. What are you doing? Asked Kira in a rather loud voice. Are you crazy? Max was shocked at Lucy's behavior. Lucy grabbed the evil bunny and placed a name tag that read Toast around the bunny's neck. The bunny transformed into a docile bunny. Its white fur turned into patches of black and white. How can you call me crazy, Max? That's not a nice thing at all. Lucy fed the calm bunny a carrot. But how did you do that? Max stood by the bunny and put down his bow and arrow. He was in shock. If you change the name to Toast, it calms the bunny down, Lucy said, as if charging a feral bunny and placing a name tag on an animal was the easiest thing in the world. Wow, I'm impressed. I'm impressed, declared Steve. The group gazed in wonderment at the bunny. While they gathered all their supplies for the journey, they walked through the town, making sure to visit their friend Elliot the blacksmith before they set out on their adventure. Elliot was always happy to see his friends. He smiled as they walked through the door of his shop. How are you guys doing? Need to trade anything? He asked them. Steve took out some wheat from his inventory. I'd like to trade this wheat. I need some emeralds. Are you irrigation system on your farm? No, we need the emeralds because we're about to go to Mine Mountain, and we need as many resources as we can carry. It's going to be a long journey, Steve told Elliot. Wow, Mine Mountain. I didn't even think that place really existed, Elliot said. He took Steve's wheat and gave him a handful of emeralds. Well, we'll find out for ourselves if it really exists, Steve exclaimed, as he took the emeralds and placed them in his inventory. How exciting. When you come back, you need to tell me all about it. Elliot waved goodbye to the group. Okay, Steve, let's go, said Henry. Wait, Steve replied, as he walked toward the library. I have to get books from Avery, the librarian. Books? Max was shocked. Why? I want to trade these emeralds so that I can get all of the books about Mine Mountain. I think they might come in handy. That's Steve. Always thinking. Lucy smiled. As Steve walked into the library, and Avery greeted him. Steve, are you going somewhere? Yes, I am. I'm going to find Mine Mountain, Steve told Avery. Do you have any books about it? Of course. Avery led Steve over to a shelf with a stack of leather-bound books. Here they are. Steve picked up 3 books and offered, I'd like to trade some emeralds for the books. Okay, Steve, but you must promise to come back here once you return. I've only read about Mine Mountain in those books, and I'd love to hear about it from a person who's actually found it. Avery thanked Steve for the emeralds. Steve placed the books in his inventory and joined his friends. As the group walked past the town and into the thick of the tree-filled jungle, Steve hoped he'd have diamonds to trade with Elliot when he returned. He took a deep breath. He wanted to see the famed Mine Mountain, but there was still a part of him that believed it didn't exist, and they were really heading into a trap. Alright, well that's gonna have to be the end of Chapter 2, and beginning of Chapter 3, but we will save that for another video. Anyway, like and subscribe, you know, the whole jazz. And, remember to look at the first one in order to get caught up with this one. Anyway, that's gonna have to be it. See